guys, Black Scout Survival, and today we're going to be talking about the gray man concept or theory. And basically I'm going to go over what it is, what it is not, its applications and capabilities. A lot of people, I've seen on other websites, forums, YouTube, they have a misconception of what a gray man actually is. And basically people are just regurgitating information that they've heard from somewhere else, and it just gets carried away. So I'm going to kind of go over what this is and how you can use it. What is it? The gray man concept is basically a way for you to blend in to your surroundings. And a lot of that is going to depend on baseline movement. And baseline movement I'll go over in the future more in depth, but basically it's whenever you're blending in to what's going on in your surroundings, like in an urban area, what's the baseline. But anyhow, the gray man is an absolute average guy in every way. He's ordinary in every aspect. So there's no features that really give off and create stimulus. What it is not. People assume that gray man means non-tactical. Well, to some degree that's true, but it's not only looking non-tactical. I've seen forums, guys wearing 511s, and they're like, well, I wear these 511s with, this shirt, and it kind of looks non-tactical. Well, that ain't really gray man. And a lot of it's going to be dependent upon some of your own characteristics that you may not be able to be a gray man. It's just impossible for some people to be that, and I'm going to go over that. But there's more to it than looking non-tactical. Basically, creating stimulus, getting the gears turning in somebody else's head, the other folks around you's head, is the biggest thing. If you see, something rememberable or something that you could be associated with, like you may be out and you may notice this in your day-to-day life, but you'll see something on somebody and it creates stimulus and you remember that person. Basically, it's like you go in a store and you go undetected, unrecognized. Nobody pays any bit of attention to you. And the best way I can describe it is like George Costanza on Seinfeld. That dude, pretty much average in every way. I mean, he's kind of short, but pretty much average in every way. So, one thing that I picked up from Kevin Reeves' Urban Escape and Evasion class with On Point Tactical was that he uses the gray man as a more of a disguise application. And I really dig that concept because, it's kind of hard for you to maintain a gray man all the time. I mean, it would make your life boring at the best, so keeping that as your, that's what you do all the time, I really wouldn't recommend that. I like the fact using it as a disguise, something that you need to go undetected for some reason or another. In a bug out situation, would gray man to me really be important? Probably not, because I think any kind of contact with anybody, and especially you have any kind of equipment on you, they're going to think that you have something they could have, or that you may have cash. Think about Katrina. Ordinary average people are getting robbed and mugged, constantly. So in a grid down situation, I don't really think it's that important, and I'll go over that in a little bit also. But how do we go gray man? Like I said, be average. No identifying logos or affiliations on anything that you're wearing. Like this hat here, this would not be a good gray man hat because it would create stimulus in somebody's mind. They could think, because I actually wore this hat, I've been out in the military for quite a few years now, but I wore this hat and I purchased something in the store and they're like, you need a military discount. Well, they associated that I was military because I had on this hat. Even though I had a beard or whatnot, they still associated that I was military. So, nothing like this. You need something plain. Wearing a Boston Red Sox hat, that would not be good either because that creates stimulus. Somebody may be a Boston fan and see your hat and maybe even want to strike a conversation with you. New York Yankees hat. You could wear a Trout Unlimited hat and create stimulus. Anything that's going to give something away. You could wear a Ralph Lauren polo shirt and that could create stimulus. Somebody remembers you. They may key in on that. So you don't want to have anything on you that somebody could key in on. You want to look completely average. No logos on your shirts and stuff like that. Nothing. So, like I said, it could create stimulus. could cause conversation, which is worst case fail scenario. Or it could cause a memory or make somebody remember you. It pick you out on a lineup because of this whatever reason. Oh, I remember that guy because he had on that. The other aspect you have to look at is looking like a soft target. You don't want to look so average that a criminal opportunist may want to try you because you look so average, you know. So that's another thing. But a lot of it's going to depend on your location. Like, let's say in my area, wearing hunting camouflage is pretty much accepted everywhere. But now if I did that in New York, that would create stimulus to folks more than likely, you know. They would say, oh, he's not from around here. Just like wearing a pinstripe business suit down in the main streets of a small town in Alabama would create stimulus. So you have to, you know, kind of go along with the baseline is what I said. You have to see what's kind of like in the locale and kind of go with it. You know, you don't want to be wearing a tuxedo to an informal dinner at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. You know, so it's like you got to fit into where you're going, pretty much. But the other problem that folks may run into is that they can't control is distinguishable characteristics. And what I mean by that, like this beard, for instance, me having a beard, that could create stimulus. This would need to go, you know, such extreme facial hair needs to go. Maybe like a 5 o'clock shadow would be good. You know, going totally clean shaven, that could also give off an indicator. So I kind of deal like the 5 o'clock shadow if only a gray man. The other thing is, if you have a noticeable scar on your face or somewhere exposed on your skin, something that somebody could see and pick up on. It could also be about your size. You could be overweight. You could be really muscled up, and those are things that's going to create stimulus. And you some folks just cannot be the gray man, and this is what I'm talking about. The other thing is, you know, you may have a birthmark or something like that, or you have some tattoo here that you are somewhere you can't cover up on your knuckles. These are things that are going to stop you from being a gray man, because if you're wearing gloves and it's July and you're trying to cover up a tattoo, you're creating stimulus. Somebody's going to notice that, oh, he's wearing gloves in July. So, you know, those are things you got to think about. So basically, let's go back over it. You know, gray man is trying to go undetected, unnoticeable, average person in every way. Doesn't create stimulus. Doesn't have any type of logos or anything like that on their clothing, or any kind of funky clothing that may create stimulus. Because wearing something totally funky that's like the most hip fashion at this point in time may create stimulus. And also, you know, having an average body type, no distinguishable characteristics, you have to get away with those, you know. So, and just looking average, you know, wearing jeans or khakis, you know, wearing a button down or polo with no logos on it, no crazy designs on it, you know, wearing a t-shirt, wearing a regular hat with nothing on it. These are things, you know. The other things is you have to worry about is like your watch and your shoes. This is something that Kevin Reeve in the class taught about heavily, is that, you know, I forget where he said exactly it was, but some location that, some country that soldiers from that army that had been disbanded were, you know, leaving the military, but they had a certain watch that they wore and shoes. And kind of like when I was in the Marines, a lot of Marines wore big watches. You could spot them out, you know. Just like I live near an army base, and you see all the new soldiers that's coming in wearing their boots out in town. These are distinguishable characteristics. So you have to stay away from anything that's going to create stimulus or that's going to affiliate you with the group or organization. You have to just be the average guy, bottom line. You know, wearing a backpack, you know, something like this is definitely going to give you away. But to me, I see a person with a backpack, I'm going to recognize them and notice them anyway. So, you know, wearing a backpack at college campus is acceptable. Wearing a backpack at the, you know, at the grocery store, not acceptable. So just use common sense. It's pretty easy, you know. And if you have any questions or comments, just drop them in the box below. And I'll talk about gray man further in future videos. This is just a primer just to get it out there. But if you haven't checked out our website, please check it out. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that also. And as always, thanks for watching.